back to the Past the Present podcast. I'm your host, Alan the Great One. Thank y'all for being back here with me. I know y'all miss me. But before we get started, people, I need y'all to do a few things. I need y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, ring those bells so y'all can receive notifications for when new episodes are being released. Now, I know y'all miss me. I know y'all miss me like a hot summer day, white teas, swimming pools, water parks, all that good stuff. I know y'all miss me like water ices, double slices. If you're from the Wilmington, Delaware area, if you're not, you don't truly understand it. Whatever you do in the summertime, maybe you miss me like that. The point is, I'm back, to record new episodes. Had to take a quick break for a little bit to, get some things situated, get some things in order for y'all. But I'm back, people, and we got a great episode in store for y'all. This is From School to Prison Pipeline. Now, let me give you a little backstory of where this episode came from. People, I was sitting home, minding my own business, not bothering anybody. I don't know what I was watching on TV. It was probably something not that interesting if I was checking my phone, but that's not important. So, anyway, I was on the phone and I got a message from a gentleman named Timeless Thomas. Timeless Thomas, I was on his radio show back in the day. Y'all can check that out on my Facebook page, Past Present, or Instagram, Alan the Great. Shameless plug. Point is, Timeless Thomas sent me a video about school to prison pipeline. And so I checked out the video, and it basically broke down how, the same similarities between what happens at school to the similarities in the behaviors in how the prisons are structured. It was interesting. It was a very interesting video they sent me. Maybe I'll post that on my social media. You can check it out. Again, Past the Present on Facebook and Alan the Great on Instagram. So maybe I'll post it on the video on my social media so y'all can check it out for yourselves to get a little more background on what we was looking at. But the point is, Thomas, he sent this video to me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you're right. This is similarities, as a father of a 14-year-old, as a father as a 9-year-old, a father, well, my 2-year-old, she's not in school yet, but as a father, I understand. I'm like, oh, you're right. These are the similarities to what these kids are experiencing in school, to the similarities of what, from my understanding of the people I communicate with who are currently incarcerated or dealing with and seeing in incarceration. Simple things like recess, When you're in jail, you get, 23 hours locked down, 1 hour, you get to go out and play. They give you these lunches on trays, My kids come home often whining about the lunches. They just not that good, My kids, my kids a little bougie, though, so I can't really say nothing. My kids is bougie, so, yeah, it seemed funny, but, yeah, that's the point. So, anyway, the structure of it was similar with the school lunches, how they're having, kids playing on the playground, school, how they're teaching. And it's so many similarities to me, and it made me want to sit here and digest it and really think about it. What do we need to change this? But before we can get to change it, we have to understand what the heck is happening here. One of the issues as a black father, as a black man, as a father we have is, if you're from a different race, Caucasian, Asian, Latino, I want to hear from you. Again, Facebook, Past, Present, Instagram, Alan the Great, or comment under this video. Let me know if you experience similarities to what I'm about to talk about right now. As a black father, one of the things we experience is we're invisible. Like, when I'm at the doctor's office with my wife and one with my kids, they don't talk to me. The doctors don't talk to me. They act like I'm not even in the room, like I'm not there. They don't talk to me. They talk to my wife. They completely ignore me when I'm at the doctor's office. But it's not just when I'm at the doctor's office. Even when I'm at school, unless my kids are being disciplined about something, teachers don't talk to me. They don't even look at me. They look right through me like I ain't there. Like, I'm invisible. And I realize as a black father, I'm invisible to a lot of these institutions and these places I go to. Now, when they talk about discipline, oh, now they want to talk to dad. They want to talk to dad there because, that's what we do to whoop their behind. He going to whoop their behind. He'll get straight. Then they want to talk to dad when it comes down to discipline. But when they talk about health, kids, physicals, things that's going on with kids, talk straight to mom. I ain't there. I can ask questions and, they'll answer my question by looking at my wife like I ain't even in the room. Like, it's crazy. Now, and I see some of you black fathers out there right now, y'all probably looking at me like, wow, I don't have that problem. They talk to me, they see me. But, congratulations to you black fathers who have that. Let me give you a little applause real quick for all the black fathers out there. Yeah, Congratulations. They see you. Now, okay, have a seat. Now back to the black fathers who they don't see. Okay, you can go relax. All right, black father. God bless you. You can go sit down now. Yeah, that's great. But anyway, we're invisible. We're invisible at school, and I understand now why I talk about, we need more black fathers in the household. Yeah, because you don't see us when we're in the household. Like, I'm right here. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, black father. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, awkward. But anyway, the point is to all this is what I also notice when I'm at schools is the lack of black male teachers. Lack of black male teachers. Now you tell me again, tell me people, I want to hear from you on your opinion on this, your perspective on this. Maybe your perspective is different. Maybe the school system, the school district you're in, the schools you're in, wherever you are, maybe it's different for you. How many black male teachers do you see teaching your kids? Okay, we'll get to the importance of this in a second. We're going to get into the importance of why I'm bringing up the black male teachers. This is such a black, talking about race so much with this. We're going to get to that in a second. But just tell me, people, how many black male teachers have your students, your kids, been taught by? I'm not talking about black male, janitors. I'm not talking about the janitors. We're not talking about, the lunch man, black man serving lunch. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that, okay? We're not talking about, those type of people. We're talking about actual black male teachers. How many you have? In my estimation, through, again, my oldest son is 14. He's 14. He's in the 8th grade, about to go to the 9th. My youngest son is 9. He's in the 4th grade. By my estimation, my children had zero black teachers. Yeah, zero black teachers throughout their whole entire school. Have never met a black teacher. It's crazy. Yeah, serious. So it comes to wonder, when you're dealing with black males, when you're dealing with black males in school, when you're dealing with some of the issues that these young black males have, one, when it comes down to discipline, as I said earlier, people, I'm invisible. I'm invisible when I go to school. The teachers, the doctors, they don't see me, okay? They don't recognize me when I go to school. But it just makes me wonder, when they talk to me about when my kids are having problems, they want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to my wife. They want to talk to me at that point when the issues come in. And a lot of times when you're dealing with these black males and you're dealing with males in general, it's good to have some type of influence, black male influence, to teach these kids, who understand these kids, who understand their backgrounds, who understands how to talk to these kids, to not only get them on the right path, but to show them some type of positive reinforcement, positive male role model. Because when we're looking at the fact that, there's no black fathers in the household, as people tend to point out, well, if there's no black male figures in the household and you don't see any positive male figures at school, what are these kids looking at? What are these kids seeing? So what are you left with, okay? All right, so we're going to look at like black female teachers, but we do have those, right? Because I did have a few black female teachers at school, okay? So I'm sitting here doing the math in my head, people. So if I'm sitting here looking like I'm a little confused, it's not that I don't know what I'm saying next. I'm just doing the math, so bear with me. I believe my oldest son had 4 black teachers, maybe 3. I think I'm going to go with 4. 4 black teachers. And then, granted, again, he's in the 8th grade, so throughout his whole entire, existence in school, he had about 4 black teachers. My youngest son, I want to say he had 1, okay? Now, according to statistics, people, these are statistics, not my statistics, I'm skipping the words, but statistics I looked up. 4% of teachers in America are made up of 4% black woman teachers, okay? Black female teachers make up 4%, okay? How much does black male teachers make up? 1.6%. Now, together, the current math is, I believe, 6.1% of black teachers make up school year. This is crazy. Yeah, crazy when you think about it. It's crazy when you think about it because you got to think about from a perspective, and we're talking about here, from school to prison pipeline. One of the issues we have is not black teachers in there to teach these black students. And again, people, you probably wonder, why does he keep focusing on the color black? There's Hispanic, there's Latino, there's Asian kids. Well, we're going to talk about that, people, because 31%, again, these are not my statistics, people. This is from the ACLU. 31% of black students who are suspended or expelled from school end up incarcerated, end up in prison. 31% of these people. Now, a lot of these kids who have issues in school, who have behavioral issues, they're often branded as troubled kids. And that reputation follows them from school to school. And once they're branded as troubled kids, it's hard to get that brand off you. It's hard to not look at you any other way. It's hard to. And a lot of times you don't understand these children. You don't understand the culture they come from, the background they come from. And that's an issue and why I'm pushing so hard on we need black male teachers, more black female teachers, so that they have people they can relate to, people they can understand. When we look at Brown versus education, we looked at it as a win. That was a win for the black community. The black community, we looked at Brown versus Board of Education as a win because Brown versus Board of Education allowed us to go to schools, to segregate schools, to us to go to school to I think I'm saying right, segregate, whatever. You know what I mean, people. It allowed us to go to schools where black and white students could mix, where we could actually get into schools with better books, with better education. At least that's what we thought, but what we missed out on that was what happened in the South. 38,000 black African-American teachers lost their jobs due to that same ruling. Brown versus Board of Education. The downfall was that 38,000 black teachers lost their job. Why did they lose their job? Because white superintendents did not want black teachers teaching white students. Now, just like segregation, we talk about all the things in previous episodes where we talked about how, the end of segregation, Jim Crow laws. Of course, that's a good thing. Segregation shouldn't be a thing in existence, but how it affected black businesses. This is affecting our black students. This is affecting our black students because now you don't have that many people who look like you. Now we talked about why we don't have that many black teachers. Well, according to certain polls and statistics from the school systems as well as CNN, all these other news outlets, the reason we don't have that many black teachers is because, you ready for this? Because of the pay and racial bias. A lot of black teachers don't want to become black teachers because they're worried about racial bias. What do I mean by racial bias? What do they mean by racial bias? Well, if you're a black man right now and you work into an office setting, a lot of times you walk around the streets, you just been out and you've been around Caucasian people, most importantly Caucasian women, you may experience an uncomfortable feeling when you have walked down the hallway. Yeah. You may experience an uncomfortable feeling where it's not so much of you as a black man feeling uncomfortable, but that Caucasian woman feeling uncomfortable around you. And not because you were threatening her, not because you were looking at her with some kind of sexual deviant look in your eyes, but because naturally they tend to feel threatened by us. Now, I don't want to make this about my perspective, okay? Don't want to make this about my perspective, people, because it's not about my perspective, okay? So I'm going to use somebody else's perspective. This is something, a recent conversation, and I'm not going to give any names, that I had with an African-American gentleman where he came to me and he's like, I'm in the office. He was in the office that we work out of. And he was like, I was walking down. He's like, that bathroom, it's off to the side. It's a little dark kind of area, but it's just off to his bathroom. We got, the male and female bathrooms. Then we have like a unisex bathroom where, either person can use it, but it's just like one individual bathroom. You shut the door. So he's like, I seen, this woman, she was a white woman. She was walking to the bathroom and she seen me walking down the hall. And when she seen me, you can see she tensed up. Then instead of going to the bathroom, she just turned around and walked away. She didn't go to the bathroom. She didn't go to the bathroom. He said, I felt like she didn't go to the bathroom because she was nervous and she was scared by me, by my presence, that she thought like I was going to throw her in the bathroom and do something to her in like this crowded office. That's clearly a lot of people. So, unless you're the most unintelligent person in the world, you're not doing something like that. But I digress, people, because I don't want to get off the subject that we're here to talk about. The point is, this is some of the racial bias that I'm talking about. We hear about Karens and all that, but we're not going to use these racial slurs towards people because I don't want to isolate, denigrate, or try to stereotype any particular person nor offend somebody. This show is about stating the facts, not about separation. Okay? So going back to it, that's one of the reasons they said, racial bias in school, that a lot of black teachers are fearful that, they will be judged and held accountable different than their white counterparts, meaning that, if a situation didn't go so right, where a white teacher might get off, a black teacher might see himself in prison. Also, pay. Pay. That's a big thing we're going to talk about for teachers, okay? Pay. A lot of black teachers feel like the pay is not adequate for them to do the job. Well, teachers in general are underpaid, okay? And we'll get to that later in the show, but teachers in general are extremely underpaid, and we'll get to that later, okay? We'll get back to that, okay? It's one another reason. The third reason why there's not that many black male teachers in the school system is because a lot of black students are felt like they're not being pushed to become black teachers. They're not feeling comfortable in the black system, in the school system. They're generally not feeling comfortable in the school system, let alone would they want to come back to teach in the school system. And you think to yourself, probably, a lot of you probably saying to yourself right now, well, if they don't feel that way, shouldn't they want to become school teachers to try to address these issues? Well, let me ask you a question, people. Let me ask you a question real quick, and I want y'all honest answer when I ask you this question. If you went to McDonald's, right, and they messed up your order, they constantly mess up your order. You order that 20-piece nugget, but they always give you one sauce. Give you one sweet and sour sauce every time you eat that 20-piece nugget. They always mess it up. They always forget the fries. They always give you the wrong drink. You kind of get discouraged by going to McDonald's. I know these two are not direct comparisons, but people, are you then going to work at McDonald's? Are you going to go get a job at McDonald's so you can correct the issues at McDonald's? Hell no, you ain't going to get a job at McDonald's. And one of the reasons you ain't going to get a job at McDonald's because you as one individual are not going to correct the whole system of McDonald's. McDonald's got two things that they constantly do and they're consistent with, okay? Two things, people. And disagree with me, you know how to get in touch with me. Facebook, past, present, Instagram, Alan the Great, okay? You also can comment below. Two things McDonald's consistently get wrong, okay? They get your order wrong, and the ice cream machine is always broken at McDonald's, okay? That's two things. So you're not systematically going to change that. It's systematically teachers, black males who want to become teachers don't feel like they can systematically change the school to prison pipeline for young black students. Yes, they can be a role model, but they also feel like a raindrop in the ocean. Okay? That's exactly how they feel. Many of y'all probably don't even get that, analogy, but that's cool. We're gonna just keep on past that. Yeah, it's going all over your head. But that's not the point, people. The point of this system is we have so many issues with the school system that cause that. Like I talked about how school system is structured, how they serve lunches, how they keep these kids sitting down, for long periods of the day, giving them up until middle school an hour to play. The other issue with this is keeping kids engaged, okay? Keeping kids engaged in the interest level. Now, we can't blame the teachers for this because the school system gives a curriculum that the teachers must abide by and teach their students. Now, the issue with this curriculum, and if you watch this show for a long time, you understand that I have been very critical of the curriculum at school. Like I said, I have a 14-year-old, 9-year-old, okay? And one of the issues I experienced, okay, here's one of the issues I experienced, especially my 14-year-old. Every time I got a parent-teacher conference and, they look at me like I'm invisible. We already discussed that. But I'm the type of person I make my presence known. Like, you're going to see me. You're going to learn today I'm here. Yep, Dad's in the building. You're not going to ignore me. You're going to see me, okay? I'm not the invisible parent. I'm the parent that we gave a clap to earlier. Let's get another clap right here. Let's get another cheer clap. Yeah, I'm that parent. Yep. Thank you. You're far too kind. Hold your applause. So I make my presence known, but I want to ask y'all another question. People, have you ever heard your teacher say this to you? I'm very concerned about little Timmy. Okay, what are you concerned about? Well, he's not doing his schoolwork, and he just doesn't seem like he's focusing. Is there something going on at home? And you know what I always say? I get offended by it. And I know a lot of us as parents, we get offended by it. But let me tell you why I get offended by it, people. What the hell do you think is going on at home, teachers? What do you think is going on at home? Yeah, little Timmy got a lot going on at home. Little Timmy has too much going on at home, okay? Little Timmy got an Xbox One, the new Xbox. He got all the video games. He got the newest iPhone. He got a TV that's bigger than my mom's TV when I was growing up. Little Timmy has a lot going on. He has two parents, loving parents who work hard and does everything for him, come to parent-teacher conferences, all that. Yeah, little Timmy got a hell of a lot of shit going on. Sorry for my language, people, but I get a little passionate. Yeah, little Timmy got a lot going on. But it offends me when teachers ask that question. It's like, what the hell do you think is going on? What do you think is going on at home for little Timmy? And it's thinking, like, well, little Timmy just seems like he's having a hard time sitting in his seat. He has a hard time focusing. Well, I mean, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but, looking at your curriculum, what you're teaching, you're forcing a kid to sit in class for 5 to 6 hours a day. You're teaching them to take a test, which we're getting to now. You're teaching them to take a test, people. A test. You're teaching them about subjects that they're not interested in. Now, as older people, we get a little tired, okay? Now, what they should implement at our jobs is a nap time, okay? I know we get a lunch hour, but we should get additional time to take a nap, okay? Now, do anybody agree with me on that we should get extra time to get a nap? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, yes. We should get a nap. So, unlike us, our kids are full of energy. They have a lot of energy they need to kill off. So when you talking about these kids in school, they're full of energy, and you're teaching about subjects that these kids are not interested in. They're not interested in the subjects you're teaching. The curriculum that you're teaching them for a test. Now, granted, teachers, I'm not trying to come at you, but if you do feel offended by anything I say today, please understand, you are most likely the problem in who I'm talking to. But for those who you are not offended, but sitting here and shaking your head in agreement, I want you to know that I got your back and I understand your plight and that you're doing the best job you can under the circumstances. And we're going to talk about some of the trials and tribulations that you deal with later on in the show. So just bear with me, people. But my point is, when you worry about whether little Timmy has an issue at home, the issue is in school with the curriculum that they're being taught. You're teaching these kids to take a test. Standardized testing, okay? You know what standardized testing is. A lot of your kids took it. They're taking them, and they're being trained for them. They send you the grading system home, and a lot of us don't even understand what the hell the grading system is, what's the dynamics, and what's the chart you're grading our children on, or why the hell they're taking the test, and why it's important to take a test. Now, what the government is going to tell you is the reason to take these tests is to provide your child a better education and funding for the schools. Okay? Interesting. Very interesting. So this is to provide funding and education for the school to give our kids a better learning environment to find out what our kids' needs are. Where are their struggles? Where are their struggles and address their needs? That's what standardized testing is for, correct? Interesting. Very interesting. So, really this, people. Just bear with me here. So, if standardized testing is supposed to help with this, why the hell are our classrooms in school still overcrowded? Why by the next year our child is still below their grade point average or their grade level on these standardized testing? Why is it that they're still not improving in any shape or form, but a lot of times it's getting worse? Why are teachers so stressed out with this? Because they're forced to teach these standardized testing. Why? Somebody told me something, and I'm going to be honest, quick disclaimer right here. I don't have this as a fact, okay? Now, this is something somebody told me. I'm not stating this as a fact. Now, again, you can comment below, hit me up on Facebook, past, present, Instagram, Alan the Great. Let me know your thoughts, and if indeed you have to research this and this is a fact. Somebody told me, and I was at the barbershop, they said, standardized testing is a way to find out what kids they're going to put in the prison system. Yeah. They're trying to find out what kids are going to be preparing them for prison, for privately owned prisons, and preparing them for a role in prison. Now, I don't have the facts to prove that this is a thing. My research says that they're doing standardized testing because it's supposed to help the school and help the teachers. Interesting. Again, interesting fact, because I'm going to tell you why it's an interesting fact, people. It's an interesting fact because when Valentine's Day came around, the teachers, they weren't asking for Valentine's Day cards for the kids. They were asking for school equipment. Actually, school equipment, tissues, hand sanitizers, pencils, erasers, things that they need for school. And a lot of these teachers, now we're going to talk about the teachers and their plight. A lot of these teachers are spending their own money. Now, granted, they're underpaid. People, listen to me. This is not a debate. This is not a discussion. Teachers are underpaid for what they have to do. A lot of time, a teacher has to be a counselor and a teacher to your student. A lot of times, teachers have to be more than a teacher. You understand? Teachers have to go far and beyond. There are teachers who go beyond the call of duty to try to prepare your student to be ready for the next grade. But the fact of the matter, these teachers are truly underpaid and still underpaid. They're understaffed, they're underpaid, and they're not given the proper equipment they need to educate our children, despite what they're saying by that standardized testing is supposed to provide some sort of funding. I don't know what the hell truly standardized testing is. I have my theories. I have my theories of what it represents and what it does, but I have no true feeling, true evidence of what it's supposed to be truly doing. The point is, these teachers are underpaid. These teachers are not given what they need to do their job. And what the results are, that a lot of African American or Latino students are dropping out and being pushed to drop out because they're not able to meet that grade point average, that test score that they need to keep these schools flowing, or to keep up to the standard that the government has issued. So a lot of times what they're doing is we got this No Child Left Behind program, okay? Now we're keeping on with this. The school to prison pipeline. Follow me, people. Follow the pipeline. Now we got this No Child Left Behind, who was administered by George W. Bush in 2001, or maybe it was 2002. I gotta check my facts again. People gotta get up on my tablet and check the facts. And I read the whole description on the White House website of what George Bush said, how beneficial he said this was, how beneficial the No Child Left Behind program was for underprivileged children, low-income children, how beneficial this program was for these underprivileged children who grew up in low-income households, how this was beneficial for teachers, how these students were, growing and developing and were getting improved test scores because of this No Child Left Behind program. I mean, if I didn't know no better, I would have said George Bush is absolutely the Messiah. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, George Bush is the Messiah. I mean, this is the guy who, we're not even going to get into it. Never mind. We're not even going to go into that. We're not going to politics. But this is what it's supposed to be, right? No left child left behind. So if no child's left behind, what you're doing, they're just pushing our kids to the next grade. So if our kids are not showing that they know how to read to a fourth grade level, it don't matter. You're going to keep pushing them to the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, seventh, eighth, eventually to the ninth. And then when you know what happens when you get there, once a kid turns 16, they're able to drop out. So what do? Because these kids who cannot keep up with these standardized test scores, who cannot give them the test scores they need to make the schools look good, so what happens then? These kids are then encouraged to drop out of school. The school to prison pipeline continues, people. They're encouraged to drop out of school. Excuse me. Now, when you think about what happens when you drop out of school, now a lot of you are working parents, a lot of you out here listening to the show, you got jobs, you have, you're taking care of your own home. Some of you live in your household with your mom still, getting your mom pay your bills and all that, and you live your best life playing Xbox and playing Fortnite, living in your mom's house. Some of you right now are just not even got a job. Y'all sitting there collecting welfare, eating some Cheetos, probably watching this while you sitting there on the toilet, but we ain't gonna get into all that, okay? It don't matter where you at watching this. That's not the point. But for you out there who are working and you're working these jobs, a lot of you will agree on this. It's a struggle out here. The economy is a struggle. And that's for you out here making a decent living. It's a struggle to keep up with your bills. Car insurance. I'm talking about necessities, people. I'm talking about lights, food, just the necessities. We need internet in our households for our kids and their education. The necessities that you need, I'm sure that most of you will agree that it's a struggle to keep up with those. And that's what you who graduated high school, many of you who graduated college, many of you have a master's degree. And you're still struggling out here in today's society. You know what it's like in today's society. Now, you imagine this for a child or a person who dropped out of high school, where Walmart, McDonald's, and a lot of these jobs are now requiring that there's a certain age that you need a high school diploma to get hired. Now, where are you going to work out? Now, you've been encouraged to drop out of high school. Where are you going to work at, people? You're getting frustrated because not only are you able to live your best life, you're not able to go on that, guy trip or that girl's trip. You're not able to go to Vegas and party. You're not able to go to Miami and let your hair down. Let's pause on that for a second. Let's talk about just paying your bills. Because now trying to pay your bills becomes a struggle with this low income job you got, this low paying job you have. How far are you away from going out and committing crimes? How far are you truly away from that, people? How far have you right now, the many of you who are out there watching this show right now who are dealing with this low paying jobs and dealing with these issues, how far are you from saying, okay, if Johnny say one more thing to me, if Charlie say one more thing, because you got the work snitches, if work snitch say one more thing to me, I'm going to put my foot in that ass. I'm going to lose this job. I just won't be able to pay my bills. Kids won't be able to get the job. It is what it is. Whatever the device is, it is what it is. I had enough. How many of you thinking that way? Huh? Yeah, a lot of us are. We're thinking about trying to keep our heads above shoulders, keep our heads above water, excuse me. And when you're pushing kids out at 16, you're pushing them into a world they're not prepared for because the No Child Left Behind already encourages kids that they're not able to read. The fact that you're teaching for standardized testing is not truly giving these kids the education they truly need. The fact that you got these kids sitting here not able to express themselves, they're being taught by people that don't truly understand their background, don't truly understand what they're going through at home. Because some kids are going through the things at home. Some kids are not getting an adequate lunch. They're not getting a lunch. My kids come home, they're hungry every single day. Come home. As soon as they walk the door, they want to eat everything in the refrigerator. It's not nailed down. These kids are starving. So can you imagine what they're going through? How can kids learn on an empty stomach? Do you imagine these kids who are going home who don't have food at home? Can't eat. They rely on breakfast and lunch as their meals every single day. You imagine these kids going to school and learn. You imagine these teachers, these good teachers that we have at school trying to actually do their job who don't have the tools that they need. Not the things, the extra tools, but the things they need to properly teach our kids. They're dealing with overcrowded classrooms, trying to keep these kids' attention while teaching them to prepare for standardized testing. Now, let me ask y'all a question, people. How many of y'all out there right now at your job quarterly, okay? Or asked to take a test? How many? None. That's how many. None of us are. I've never been asked to take a test at my job. Not to get the job, not after, not at any point. So why the hell standardized testing? Why are we teaching kids to take tests? What we're teaching kids in school is how to have a job or to get prepared for prison. That's what teaching is doing. That's what the school system is built for. No Child Left Behind program is one of the worst things that happen to low income and children who are already struggling because you're pushing these kids on and through the system even though they're not prepared for what's coming next. And what's happening with that? You're destroying their confidence. And when you're destroying their confidence, you're destroying their ability to be productive, successful, future adults. That's what you're doing. We often want to talk about this generation. This generation is terrible. We got the Kia boys out here. They're stealing their cars, and you got to kill each other, and this is that. And we talk. What the hell you think? Let's first of all stop. I want y'all to stop for a second. I want y'all to think about something. What the hell was y'all doing when y'all was kids? Okay, what was we doing? I mean, I know I was doing as a kid. Listen, thank God social media wasn't around because I know I wasn't an angel at no point whatsoever. But also know that, I understand and relate to my children in the ability that they don't, be able to focus. And they're not able to focus because a lot of times they have teachers who don't really motivate them, don't enlighten that passion in them to do it. And the curriculum that's being taught is forcing you to sit there and focus on some stuff that you don't even give a damn about. Other issue, and I'm going to wrap this thing up with the prison to school pipeline is this. a lot of times these teachers and these staff members are not truly listening to us. Okay, they're not listening to us, people. I'm sorry if I'm messing with my tablet right now. I'm just trying to look up a few things. They're not listening to us, so I'm gonna give you my personal perspective on that and why I can speak about standardized testing. Okay, now I told y'all I have a 14 and 9-year-old. Okay, let me tell you about my 9-year-old real quick. My 9-year-old, this little boy, is a very rambunctious little boy. He has a high amount of energy. If I could put his energy in a bottle, man, I swear I would be a billionaire by now. I'm telling you, this boy got a lot of energy. Okay, he was having issues in school, getting into a lot of trouble in school. I'm not ashamed to say it, people. Some of your kids too need a smack. You know, some of your kids need that too. Yeah. So don't look at me like that. Your kids need a behind whooping too. So don't keep looking at me like my kid the only bad kid, okay? Or not misunderstood kid. Let me tell you. So, the teachers, of course, when it's time to discipline a kid, like I talked about earlier, they of course want to talk to dad. You want to talk to dad, but your child's acting out. What's going on? Is there something going on at home? It's the first question to come up. Is there something going on at home? So I listened to him talk about all the things he's doing. I said, I think he's bored. I think my son's bored and he needs to be challenged. Oh no, he's being challenged plenty in class, and he just doesn't focus. I don't think he's learning, this stuff. I don't think he's, really learning because he's so distracted. He's not really learning. He's not getting the education he did. That's what it is. So I said, I disagree. I think the issue with my son is that he's bored. Oh, Mr. Henry, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't think that's what it is. So we went to a stalemate where, they was on one side, I was on the other. I obviously don't know shit about my son that I spend majority of time with, so I tried to break it down differently. I said, listen, my son sits around at a dinner table. He reads magazines. In his spare time, he sits there and reads magazines. Okay, he just reads magazines. It don't matter what magazines. It could be a men's health magazine. It could be my Porsche magazine that is sent in the mail. It could be any magazine. He's going to sit down. He's going to read the magazine. He just likes to read. Clearly, my son loves reading. He doesn't care. You put a newspaper in front of my son, he's going to read. He asks questions. I always say this about my son. He not only asks questions, he asks the right questions. There's a difference. So I'm saying I think my son is bored. Okay, they ain't listen to me. All right, people, I'm invisible. Like that, I'm invisible, people. Standardized testing. My son took the standardized test. He came home one day. He's like, Dad, what's up? What's up, Jameer? What's going on? They want to put me in the advanced classes. They want to put you in advanced classes? What are you talking about? They said I scored so high on the standardized test that they want to put me in advanced classes. Really? Interesting. My son scored so high in the reading test that they wanted to put him in advanced reading, people. Now, as I started the story with people, I told them my son is bored. I'm not making excuses for my son's behavior. That wasn't my intention to try to make excuses for my son's behavior, for his mishaps in school. But I'm trying to point out when you're asking me what could be the causes, and you want to focus on what's something going on at home. Yeah, there's a lot going on at home. There's a lot of reading going on at home, people. I said my son was bored. It took for them to see a standardized test, because that standardized test can tell them more about my child than I can. A test can tell them more about my child than I can, people. So again, I say to y'all, people, as a dad, I'm invisible. Yeah. Big smack across the face. You know what else happened, people? Let me tell you what else happened, people. I remember I was at my son's school. This is when my 14-year-old school. He was in elementary school. They see me in the hallway one day. This is one time where I felt seen by the school. I felt seen by it. They said, we need more dads on the PTA. They were like, we got moms. We need some dads on the PTA. So I was like, all right, send me the information. Okay, I'll look into it. Maybe I'll join. What the hell? I'll join the PTA. I'll spare some of my time. So, I didn't get the information sent to me. So the next school year, okay, I didn't follow up. But the next school year, beginning of school year, sent the email, people. And they were saying we need more parents to join the PTA, that the parents on the PTA was down, So I'm like, all right. So I sent the email back. So the guy like, yeah, here's my application. Here's my credentials. I'm a father, my son is such and such. Yeah, I would love to join the PTA. Well, I don't really know where my application went. I think I sent it to the right person. I did send the follow-up email, okay? Maybe I didn't, but I probably didn't send it, the follow-up email. But I did send the original email, though, people. I did send the original email to join the PTA. Long story short, because I don't want to drag this out because I'm running out of time, people, probably overtime. I didn't make it to the PTA, okay? They didn't. I never got on the PTA. I never received a response or thank you for your interest. We considered you for the PTA, but your credentials wasn't good enough. Nothing. I didn't hear anything else about me joining the PTA. I don't know what that's about. That has nothing to do with anything with Prison Pipeline. I just thought I'd throw it out there for whoever was, doing picking for the PTA. You could have gave me at least an option, or you could have told me why I didn't make the PTA.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Yeah, I thought they were too, but they didn't love me because I didn't join the PTA. But anyway, I digress. So back to the school to prison pipeline. So when we're dealing with these schools, stuff like I said, we have standardized testing. We have, which is an issue for the black community. We all know, and we've been saying for years, that these standardized tests is culturally biased, where they're not beneficial for black students, for black kids. You got SATs, which their score determines whether a kid can get into a Division One college or even be able to receive a scholarship to get to a Division One college to play sports. This is issues because it eliminates these opportunities for a lot of these low income kids, these kids who come from backgrounds that are not so great. Public school system has been a joke for years. If you talk to people from higher institutions and higher institutions of learning, I'm talking about colleges, universities, you'll hear professors often joke about how poor public schools are and how people from public schools are not the smartest people in the world. And we look back and we sit here, and I did the research on this of how many people, billionaires, or came from public school. And one of the things I found was 7 billionaires. Okay, and I'm only going to name a few because I'm not going to sit here and try to memorize all these 7 billionaires. So I'm going to name a few of them. Okay, one has been Warren Buffett, who supposedly graduated from public high school, but Warren Buffett's father was a congressman. Okay, Steve Jobs, one of the founders of Apple, was another person who came from public school. From the public school background, became a billionaire. Okay, Jeff Bezos was another person who came from public school and became a billionaire. And we're gonna give one more. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. She owns the OWN network. Real close with Tyler Perry in a beef between Monique and also with Taraji P. Henson. We'll talk about that another day. But yeah, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. Yeah, she does a lot of videos on, black men, Kobe Bryant being one between her and Gail and Michael Jackson. I digress. Anyway, we ain't going to talk about that, people. But the point is, yeah, Oprah Winfrey is the only black woman on that come from public school to actually become a billionaire. Now, how many black men did you see that? Right, I say, well, Jay-Z did. He's $2 billion. He dropped out of high school. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But when you look at the statistics of that, there's less than 1% of black people coming from public schools, of public school students reaching that higher echelon of wealth. And if we look at the measurements of how many of these same kids or end up in prison, in the prison system, where it's not rehabbing you, not rehabilitating you to come back into the world, but recondition you so that you can return to prison, because that's what it's ultimately doing. Okay, people? We look at the numbers and they're completely opposite. There's a higher number of kids ending up back in jail. We got to change this narrative where the black father doesn't exist, because there is black fathers out here. Y'all just got to see us. We got to eliminate standardized testing. We got to roll back No Child Left Behind, and we got to change how it is. If we're going to talk about it, let's change it. If no child is left behind, then let's change the structure to make sure that every child is not left behind in their education, their ability to read, to do math, to learn how to write. Make sure that they have a proper, adequate education, that they can move on to the next grade, that they can have a potentially great life and an opportunity at life to be successful, to be able to pay their bills and not have to struggle. And we know that none of this is in the plan, but let's just talk about it, people, because right now, the way the school system is set up, it's set up for our kids to go to prison. We need to talk about paying these teachers more, giving these teachers the proper help. Stop lessening the load on these teachers, where these classrooms are overcrowded, where kids are not being able to learn. We need to change how we're dealing with this. As parents, we need to step up our game and stop making excuses for our children and start holding our children accountable, holding the politicians accountable. One of the things that was talked in the No Child Left Behind program with George Bush was holding the teachers in the school system accountable for educating our kids. Well, how the hell do you hold them accountable when you're not taking their perspective on the curriculum in account? When you're not taking their perspective on what these children need in account? If you're not taking their opinion about what our kids need to be educated, then what the hell are you talking about holding them accountable for? How can you hold them accountable for what? How can you sit on your high horse, on your high hill, on the top of a mountain, staring down below, telling the people below what they need? Until you get down here and you get in the mud, you don't know what these kids need. Talk to the parents, and we'll tell you. Stop assuming, and I'm talking to the teachers who are out there who are assuming that, especially, and I don't know about in the white families, but in the black families, that there's something going on with these kids at home because they acting out. Listen, here's the answer. I'm going to give you an answer. What the hell's going on? They bored. They're bored. They're not interested, and they see how you look at them. They see that you're not interested in them. They see that you're not comfortable with them. They see that you don't like them just like we see it. And they're acting on your energy. They're acting on your behavior. If they know that you don't really want to teach them, if you don't really want them to be there, it's like anywhere else. Why the hell would they want to be there? Why the hell would they want to listen to you when you don't want to listen to them? When you're not even seeing their struggles, if you're not listening to their parents when they try to tell you. I told these teachers, I told the staff, my son, I ain't making excuses for him. He's bored. It took a test for them to understand and see what I've been telling these people for over 3 years. It took a test result to finally show them. Now I'm going to tell you where I'm at. My son's in advanced class right now. Hasn't had any issues in school. Haven't had any problems, any interruptions, disruptions, or suspensions. And that's another thing. Before we sign off, it's another thing. Suspensions. Isolating our children while they're in class. Putting them in solitary. Yes, solitary like in prison. Is once again preparing them for prison. And our black kids are on a higher echelon, 31% more, or more suspended than the white counterparts in our schools. Check the math, people. Check the math. What you think that's doing? What you think that's doing when you have police officers who are going to school, supposed to be serving, protecting, make sure no school shootings or any of these other issues coming, who are looking at our kids like thugs and gangsters and looking at our kids as criminals? Check the math, people. And when you see how they see our kids, you ask our kids, what are the image they going to have of themselves when they're looking at the people who are there supposed to be educating them, who are supposed to be motivating them, inspiring them, helping them build their confidence, is looking at them in a certain type of way. Now, I already talked about how I'm looked at, people. I talked about how my counterparts are looked at. How we looked at when we walked down the office. Walked down the hallway office, I told you before, people. A lot of times I walk down the hallway and there's a Caucasian person. A lot of times I try to make my body language, my facial expression, be as comforting as possible because I don't want them to make them uncomfortable or feel threatened. Not that I am a threat to them. I am there for the same reason you're there. I'm there for the same reason you're there. I mean you no harm just like you mean me no harm. But it doesn't matter because some people, I'm not speaking for all teachers, not speaking for all situations, but some people just can't see beyond the color of your skin. And some people can't get the hatred and the racial bias out of their hearts or mind. And this causes an issue when you're teaching our children. You might not like what I'm talking about today, people. You might not agree with me. And like I said before, and I stand fast on what I'm telling you, people. For all the teachers who are out there who feel some type of way when I'm talking about today, that understand that most likely I'm talking to you. For all the teachers who are out there shaking their heads saying, yes, thank you, people. Thank you for saying it and giving me a standing ovation to what I'm saying right now. Understand that I applaud you for the work that you do, for pushing through under the circumstances you have to do. We thank you. We cheer you on for what you do, people, teachers. We cheer you on for all that you do. Because you deserve a lot more than you get. You deserve to be paid more. You deserve to not have to come out your pockets to pay for school material to educate your children. And unfortunately, us as parents, us as the community, need to stand behind our teachers who are out there going into school every day, doing their job to educate our future leaders, our kids, educating our students to give them a better fighting chance at life. We need to stand behind them. We need to stand up for them. And we need to make sure that not only they're properly paid, but they're given the resources they need to do their job. And they should not have to go to work every day stressing. They shouldn't have to do it. That's how I feel, people. Prison the pipeline. If you don't feel like I covered all the subjects or all the material, or if I didn't go deep enough on certain things, then that's perfectly fine, people. Go ahead and add whatever you feel I missed below in the comments section. Hit me up, Instagram, Alan the Great, Facebook, Past the President. Remember to hit the like button. Watch the show thoroughly all the way through so that this show can get the algorithm so that wherever it's uploaded at, that more people can see this. Black fathers exist in the household. Black fathers like myself are here. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, for the black fathers who are out there right now, you know, and you feel seen and everybody look at you and they know you, congratulations to you, okay? Congratulations. Yeah. You can have a seat now. You know, we get it. Yes, you see it. We know. You can relax now. For all the fathers who are out there, black fathers who are out there, and all the fathers who are out there who are not seen and not recognized, let me tell you, thank you for all that you do for being a father, because we need more fathers in all households. Males are needed in the household. I want to thank y'all for watching this show. I want to thank y'all for being here. We have to eliminate the school to prison pipeline. We need to cut that pipeline off. We have enough of our black men and women in prison, and we need to cut it the hell off. We need more successful black men and women. We need to start to highlight, uplift more black men and women, okay? I don't pretend like I'm Bill Cosby, you know what I mean? I'm not Bill Cosby, okay, people? I'm not. I'm not sitting here putting, you know, no Quaaludes, no downers in anybody's, you know, pudding pops, okay? Yeah, I ain't doing that, people. I ain't Bill Cosby, okay? You know, I make mistakes as a father. You know, I always tell my wife, you know, I don't have all the answers, and as a parent, none of us have all the answers. But let me tell you one thing. When my kids wake up in the morning, Dad's there. When my kids go to bed at night, they know Dad there. When they come home from school, they know if Dad ain't there yet, Dad will be there. So you want to go over your homework, you want to talk about anything, be there. I'm there to talk to you. You got an issue, Dad's there. You need to be motivated, Dad's there. I'm right there to tell you. And I don't sit here and tell my kids that the world is peaches and oranges. I'm going to tell you the real, bruh. It's rough out here. It's cold out here. So if you want to play around, you better get a coat, because it gets chilly out there in the real world. So I stand on what I say today. I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. I am back, people. I am back on. I hope y'all like the new setup I got here for y'all. You know, I tried to switch it up for y'all to give y'all a more professional view. I hope this show reaches and touches somebody, and that we don't look at this as an opportunity of complaining, but as an education of awareness of things that need to be done, corrected, so that we get our children on the right path, so we can get our children to the road to be successful, so that when we go to McDonald's, we finally get our order corrected. They finally give us more than one sauce, because I mean, goddamn it, McDonald's. I'm sorry I got to call you out. And I'm about to sign off, people, because I know y'all got to go. I got to go too, okay? I got things to do. But goddamn it, McDonald's. I'm just tired of coming there. And y'all always giving us one sauce for a 20-piece nugget. That one sauce is not enough for a 20-piece nugget, okay? I know y'all probably saying, don't double dip. Just don't double dip. I ain't double dipping. I'm halfway dipping. I'm quarter dipping. It's not enough sauce, people. So please, McDonald's, get the ice cream machine working, okay? Go talk to Chick-fil-A if you have to. Go talk to Chick-fil-A. If you have to, go talk to Blazing. I call him Blazing Jay. If y'all ain't seen the movie with T.I. and I forgot the other guy's name, Lil Duval. I think Lil Duval. You ain't seen the movie, you don't understand. You don't get it. But Blazing Jay, Chick-fil-A. Go learn from them. Their ice cream machine always working. And 90% of the time they give you the right amount of sauce. But even if they don't try to charge you 25 cents and they'll give you an attitude, ask for more sauce. So I'm just saying, McDonald's. Just know this has nothing to do with today's show, but I just want to all the people who have worked at McDonald's, I salute you and thank you, and don't spit in my food. And please give us the right sauce when we come. I would be forever grateful. And if you can fix the ice cream machine, that would be great. Especially now that y'all got the Oreo McFlurry with the mint Oreo McFlurry, the Shamrock shakes as y'all call them. Now that y'all got that back, we really need the ice cream machine fixed. I want to thank y'all for joining me for another episode of the Past the Present podcast. Y'all, thank y'all. Y'all far too kind. I appreciate y'all. Hold your applause. But thank y'all for joining me for another episode of Past the Present podcast. Remember to like, to comment, to share, to hit that subscribe button, to ring the bell so you get notifications for future shows, people. And until next time I see you, I only got a few things left to say, y'all. Stay woke, stay focused, but most importantly, stay tuned.